In the next video, we're going to talk about choosing a niche. Now, in the first one, we talked about the marketing mix, an intro to business and marketing. Well, now we want to start to dive into the concepts of video marketing. So we're going to sort of follow a little bit of a case study slash a typical flow if you're just getting started. And if you are just getting started, you need to pick a place to start, and no better place to choose than deciding which niche you want to get into. So choosing a niche or an area of focus to dive in and become an expert in your business. Let's talk about three things. First, what to be aware of. The biggest mistake people make is they, especially when it comes to online marketing and in the context of video marketing, is they just want to pick something, anything that makes money. And while that is a good idea to an extent, you also want to make sure that you do something even more important, and that is get into an area, a category, a niche that you're interested in or you have experience in or both, because it's going to be far too big of a learning curve if it's something you have absolutely no knowledge of, no experience with, and you're starting from total ground zero. You're really putting yourself behind the pack. So start somewhere where you have a little bit of experience. As an example, if you were a financial advisor in your previous life, in your last career, you could get into online marketing and video marketing, dealing with the financial world or dealing with finances in some way, shape, or form. You're tuned into that information. You understand it. You have a background in it. And of course, if you have other things that you're interested in, like knitting or dog training or whatever, you can move into that later once you get better at online marketing. But reduce the learning curve. Start somewhere where you already have and you're already a subject matter expert. Um, and so that basically comes to the next point, which is how to choose. Now, again, you might be an expert in a variety of things. So what you want to do is take a few minutes to actually brainstorm all the things you're passionate about, all the things you have interest in. Maybe start looking at some of your hobbies, look at your professional experiences. Where have you had jobs? Where did you excel in your previous job? If you were a corporate employee, you probably wore 10 different hats at any given time. So what did you really excel at, and what were some of the things you struggled with or hated doing? That will tell you exactly which niches to go towards and which ones to go away from. So make sure you give yourself the time of doing that brainstorm and really thinking about which niche makes the most sense for you. And then once you have a good idea, finally you want to do some market research to see if it makes sense to go into business in this area. If nobody's creating, buying, or selling services or products in this area, it doesn't mean you can't do it, but again, it could be a lot more difficult than you need when you're a beginner, when you're just starting out. So your best bet is to go somewhere where there is already a market and there's already people spending money. So there's so many different ways to do market research. Because this is an introductory type of training, we're going to go with the most obvious one, which is the Google AdWords keyword tool. So if you want to go to Google keyword tool, just do a search for that. It will take you to the window, and I'm going to go flip over and show you it. Here I'm at the Google keyword tool, and if you didn't find it, then just Google keyword tool and you'll find it. You'll need to create a Gmail account to get in here and do what I'm doing. There's also a free one where you don't have a Gmail account. It's a little bit more cumbersome. So let's do an example. Let's say we are interested in stress management, stress reduction. So let's search on stress management and actually let Google tell us what kind of search volume is happening on the internet. How many people are searching for stress management solutions and so on. When you type in your keyword, you click search, and there's really no limits to this. Pick any keyword you want. And you may want to do this for an hour and see what kind of results you get for different words. And when you scroll down, after it does its little search, you are going to see the main keyword, stress management, has a medium competition. And what that means is that there are some people bidding on this keyword in Google AdWords. That means there's some people willing to pay money to have their ads show up when people search for that. If the competition is low, it means very few advertisers. And if the competition is high, it means there are a lot of advertisers, which usually means there's a lot of business to be had. And you want to experiment with this, but it's actually easier to find lower competition keywords, and you'll see why in the next couple of videos. But you can see this gets a total of 301,000 searches a month, which is pretty good. That's a decent number of searches. I mean, you take 300,000 people searching just that keyword, and then you look at all the permutations, there must be millions of people looking for stress management solutions. And then it actually breaks it into different sections here. So you can see stress management techniques, stress in the workplace, reducing stress. If I want to expand one of these, so you can see workplace. workplace stress management. That's a low competition keyword that gets 5,400 searches a month. That's still a pretty decent number. So what you're seeing here as you go through, these are longer tail keywords that we can start creating videos around, and those videos will start ranking in the search engines, and that will be what I show you as we go along with the rest of these lessons. But this just gives you an introduction to choosing your niche and doing a little bit of market research with some very, very simple tools here, and you get your finger on the pulse of what's going on in whatever marketplace that you're interested in.